Alright guys, hello and welcome! This is a very special stream. First though, before we begin with the very special stream, I do apologize about the delay. I had an emergency hoagie run. And I'm sure at least some of you can relate to that scenario. I needed myself a nice tasty meatball hoagie, and that is exactly how we got. I also got myself a Mountain Dew. We're gonna rock this. For anyone who has not been paying attention or anything of that nature, we are standing in front of the final boss. Literally, I walk up this hallway and we're fighting the final boss. This is the final save point. So, as much as I'd like to encourage people to watch me and watch the streams and play these games, if you have not been playing so far, or you are playing but are at the beginning and don't know the spoilers, I have to advise some level of caution. Because we're going to have all the spoilers. We're going to have all the spoilers. We're going to have all the discussion. We're going to have all sorts of great things happening. But again, if you haven't gotten this far and don't want those spoilers, this would be the time. So, when I ended the last stream, yesterday, I'd wanted to grind a bit more before proceeding. And I did that. Everyone went up by about 6 to 7 levels. So Yuri and Alice are now both 56. Keith is 55. Yuri and Keith both have over 700 health. Alice has a disgusting amount of mana. We should be good to do this. I also did go ahead and get Keith his ultimate weapon. It's a really short thing to do. There wasn't a point in making a side thing about it. It's literally you go and you fight a bat, and you have to fight the bat and win within 5 turns. If you don't win within 5 turns, it's an insta-death. So we got that. He has the awesomeness that is this particular shiny sword. It is his ultimate weapon. And we do have Alice's ultimate weapon as well, the Holy Book Flesh, which is creepy as anything. So, we are now going to go through and we are going to finish this game. I plan on finishing this, starting Shadow Heart's Covenant. That is my plan. I have a plan for the final boss. What you guys should know before this fight, the final boss is technically 2 bosses. One is Cardinal Albert Simon. We've already fought him once. He's much the same as he was previously. His biggest issue that I have with him is his stat lowering. He can do, not stat lowering, but SP lowering, which can cause any of your characters to go berserk. And it lowers it by about half its current rate, so there does come a point that he can get it so you're going berserk on your next turn. Also, in the side list of things that I've done, we did go through and I did manage to max out fire. I now have all 6 of the souls for the level 3 souls. The only soul we did not get this run is the Sephiric Radiance. And that is what it is. I missed the Dirty Magazine in DeHoy's Tower, and there's no way to get back to DeHoy's Tower. Other than that, we could have done it, but my bad. We are slated to get the bad ending on this. There's a reason for that. There's actually 2 reasons for that. One, the mask didn't show up in the right order, and it finally annoyed me to the point that I wasn't going to grind for it anymore. 2, the bad ending is actually the canon ending. So the fact that I'm doing Shadow Heart's Covenant directly after this, it actually makes for better continuity for you guys watching. So, you know, there's that. That's going to happen. So we fight Albert Simon, then there's a cutscene, and then we fight the Big Bad Metagod. And the Big Bad Metagod, I'm set up to fight him pretty well, actually. All of my people, as you can see, have pocket watches and crucifixes. Pocket watch crucifix and pocket watch crucifix. Her angel earrings give her more SP by 20%. His Jade Lariat increases his hit area by 20% because they are small, very, very small. And then his Loin Guard just raises all of his stats ever so slightly. It's not a lot, but it's enough to be noteworthy. Yuri also does not have his ultimate weapon. He has his penultimate weapon, and I did max the crap out of that. But, so he still has a higher attack than even Keith does with Keith's ultimate weapon. Keith's special attack is slightly higher, but it's not going to do a lot of good against this particular boss. Everyone has all of their skills. There's nothing further to get in that regard. There are other side quests that I could have done. I elected not to do them. In Shadowheart's Covenant, we are doing everything. So, without further ado and further me stalling for time, let's do this. It's time to meet our proverbial maker, as it were. Welcome, one and all, to the glorious throne Niamito left to us by the ancient gods. Albert, you old fart, it's been fun, but we're finally going to be able to put an end to this. I'm impressed that you of all men were the last to remain standing in my way. Perhaps this was our destiny, even at the moment we met on the train. Just tell me one thing. What will you do if you win this fight? And I'm going to point out that in Shadowheart's Covenant, there is actually a scene, and I'm not going to go into detail with it now, but there is a scene that has Albert, Simon, and Yuri sitting down talking, and Albert actually explains why he's doing what he's doing, and it's not for the reasons that we suspect in this game. He is actually doing it for the good of the world, and screws it up royally. Couldn't say, really. I will create a new world, perfected to God's will, a pure world, without deceit or defilement. Would such a world be any fun? And the answer is no. Of course it'll be fun! It'll be a wondrous place, full of whimsy and woe. I really wanted to show it to all of you. I see. In that case, fine. Let's promise then, no matter who wins, no hard feelings, eh? And it's things like this that make you really have to like Yuri. And you see this actually happen quite a bit in certain animes, such as you see it in Fairy Tail and you see it heavily in Naruto. Whereas that he might be the main villain, he and Yuri are actually friends at the end of this. Naruto does that with almost every single villain he fights. Even Natsu in Fairy Tail is actually quite skilled at doing that, as long as he's not fighting Grey. Leave the surviving world to the mercy of fate? Fine. I promise you. There need only be one fight that determines the course of the planet. That's my Albert. Glad we agree on something. And we should get started. We bet our entire future on this fight. That's what I was waiting to hear. Let us commence the final battle. It's the final battle. Nee-nee. Nee-nee-nee-nee. This is not the final battle. Pointing that out. He also does not have the abilities of Amon. Primarily because I do. But he is still... He's not the final battle, but don't mistake that as him being weak. This is the move that lowers SP, which could actually prevent Yuri from being able to transform unless I do something to increase that SP. Damage-wise, mediocre damage. It did actually prevent him from using any of his fusions. So we're just going to go through and kick him in the spleen. Because, you know what, as strong as he is, and to be sure, he has power. There's no denying that he has power. But the Metagod has a lot more. He only has either 6,000 or 8,000 health. Metagod has 12,000. And neither of them have a weakness. They're both completely elementally null. The funny thing is, he drops a Crucifix. When you beat him, he's supposed to drop a Crucifix. The thing is, you can't save or go in... I think you can go into your menus. Status abnormality. Tja! That's not gonna do you any good against me, man. I have a 5th key and a 7th key, along with some bronze arrowheads and other things to boost Yuri's power. The bronze arrowhead, what that does is it increases everyone's hit areas by 50% for the duration of like 1 turn or something. Yeah, none of that's gonna do me any good here. Like, I could fully heal Yuri's SP, but there's better things to be done. Just like I could have, I actually am gonna have her use Advent. I'm pretty sure I have a mana root somewhere, and if I do, it can recover all of her mana. But at the moment, she does have over 700 points of mana. You know, she's... one little Advent isn't going to end the world. And it's so powerful that I can't just not do it. I'm trying to save a lot of my stuff for the next fight, but there does come a point where it's smarter to not do that instead of doing it. Had he not used Light Crest immediately, Yuri would currently be in the Amon form. But he did, so I'm not. We'll go ahead and use Gift once. Gift against normal enemies also has the probability of causing instant death at actually a rather high rate. It's beautiful for grinding at the end, because it attacks all enemies, high rate of death, and if it doesn't do death, it still does quite a lot of damage. But of course, there is no such thing as an instant death against a boss. It just doesn't happen. The closest you can get is in 2, you can use an Eternity Key. Eternity Keys do not exist in this game, but it keeps your attack cycle going until you miss, and if you're good, that can take quite a long time. Stop attacking my Alice. She has done nothing to you that you didn't deserve. She's using a holy book made of the flesh of something. We're not gonna go into specifics because creepy. One of the most jacked up moments in Shadow Hearts was getting that book, and the dollhouse later is not a lot better either. I'm just gonna have her cure herself. Like I said, there's no point in using any of the edges here because none of them have an elemental weakness. And the final boss, the Metagod, uses every element. Every single one. They all have a status effect attached to them, but I'm completely immune to those status effects. So I'm not overly concerned about that. And I don't think he's going to last too terribly much longer, to be honest. I've pummeled him quite a bit already. But he's not the hard boss. Yep, he's got a stagger to his swagger. Alright, just to try and end him a little faster with a bit more goodies. Ooh, I got a perfect Advent. Nice! I love the spell. It is one of the strongest spells in this game. Though apparently Zuzen's Flames of Feudo do quite well also. I'm not a huge Zuzen fan once you get Keith. I feel as though Keith has better, not necessarily stats, but he's healing himself. Oh, that. Lovely person. Keith has better offense, defense, and, a lot larger of a health pool, which I get that's not everything, but when I'm also using Alice, who's got substantially less health than my other party members, I really need to keep that up as much as I can. Ooh, she's only got 2 points left. We're just going to advent him again. It's not going to kill him, but it should take out... Ooh, I got a perfect again. It should take out the remainder of the heal that he just did to himself. Someone's going to need to heal Alice's SP, as it's running a little low. Though she could do it on the next turn, but if he does an attack that requires healing, she's my main person for that. That was a nice chunk of damage. Nah, he's only attacking Yuri. It's fine. He's not bobbing again yet. He must be like right on the precipice of it. Well, there was another 400 damage. He still isn't bobbing. How annoying. Now I'm going to use that on Alice. Only because I want her to get some more mana back too. Plus she's about to use Arc, which is an 80-point spell to begin with. So that just kind of covers 2 areas at once. I realize I could have probably just used a normal cure there, and I actually really should have. That was a miscalculation on my part, but we shall live. It will be okay. Yes, attack the guy that can heal himself, please. Keith's drain abilities are phenomenal. Ritual Bloodsucker. Who you calling a sucker? In that case, on Alice's next turn, I might actually have her heal her mana the rest of the way. As her abilities aren't needed elsewhere at the moment. That's a mana extract. It fully restores all mana, which is lovely, but I'd rather save that for when it's really low in the middle of a fight. Is that the best you got? I'm a little surprised he's only used Holy Crest once so far. Actually really surprised he's only used Holy Crest once so far. Okay, he's back to bobbing now. Hopefully he doesn't use Grace again. Or, you know what, just in case he decides to get frisky with his magics, let's go ahead and try and finish him as quickly as we can. Classic Mortal Kombat style, magic from a distance. If I had said Street Fighter there, I could have used a Hadouken reference. Oh well, my bad. He is so close. Oh good, he didn't. Yay! The only downside about Keith's drain is that it only affects him on the healing. Yuri could go another turn, frankly, without healing. I'd really like to get this dude just down. Because there is an out-of-battle moment where I can use items to heal myself. I actually just remembered that. There we are. Alright. First boss is down, and I'm going to say he had 8,000 HP. Final boss has 12,000. It was either 8,000 or 9. I knew it was right in there. Perfect. Alice leveled again. I got a silver hand. Ooh. Creepy. Did I cut it off him? I knew Alice was going to level again. She was so close to begin with. My goal when grinding there was I want everyone above 55. Sorry, Albert. Splendid work. I must admit, you got me. This one time. Yuri, all of you have chosen your fate. The coming wintry age will be a harsh one. The beginning of hell that humans have chosen. But none of this will come true unless you defeat the god that is arriving soon. But it should be fine. With people as strong as you, humans may yet be able to overcome their mistakes. If you really think you can arise victorious, then take my blessing too. May my soul assist you. Albert. He's not such a bad guy. Let me take you to the god's throne, with the last drops of my power. Ooh. Alright, now we get to see if my strategizing is going to come into some sort of fruition. If I do this correctly, I should be able to do a significant portion of damage to the enemy. He already healed them fully. Sweet. I should be able to do a lot of damage to the enemy within the first 2 turns. Maybe within even the first 3, I might be able to do more with that 5th key. Welcome to the site for the final battle. Where are we? The stratosphere. Look at how tiny the temple is from here. This really is the end of the earth. What the? Hey, what's going on? Could that be... So it would seem. That is God? Yeah, now things are getting interesting. Alright, God. Yeah, he's just a big freaky dude. He's just a big freaky dude. First time I fought him, it took me 4 tries to get past him. I was underleveled. The first time I actually died to Albert. Time of Judgment. Alright, let's see what this does. Remember, I'm completely immune to stat effects and ring effects. But he still can do plenty of damage to make my life miserable. He's got that power. So, I should also see... Ooh, and mana down! Oh, that's not even cool. Alright, so we're going to go into Amon form. Problem is I can't have Yuri use any of the items until he uses my key. I do want to see what Silver Hand user's hit area increases to 100%. I'm going to use one of those on him for this turn. I don't know how long it stays good for. But, yeah. So, his hit area is now 100%. I actually have 2 of those. And then... No, that's user. I don't want user. See here, there's a good way to do this. Rotate twice as fast, attack doubles. Perfect. Yeah, of course, getting Alice to be able to heal this turn is going to be challenging. And I really actually do need her to, so... Good, we got that. We got the arc off. Now I'm going to use the 7th key. And what I did, because it spins twice as fast, it does double the damage. So if I had used the 7th key and hit for all 7, it's going to be the equivalent of me doing 14 attacks in a row. As long as I don't screw it up. And then my plan is to actually do that again with the 5th key. Yuri's the best one to do it with. He's got the most physical whammy to him. Sadly, Alice is going to have to... Oh, damn. Didn't do it fast enough. Oh. Nope. Didn't do it fast enough. That's a shame. That's a shame. There's no way that Keith is going to be able to do an actual attack here. It's not going to happen. So my best bet at this moment is to try and use a Moon Swallow. Ooh, just barely got that. And in all fairness, I didn't do exactly as well as I would have liked, but what it did do was provide Yuri with a lot of power. Now I could do it again, but I think his Monkey Paw would, or Silver Hand would pose a problem. That's only for the user. No, I have a Bronze Dagger right there. There we are. She probably should have healed, but it'll be okay. Hopefully. Good, good. He only really pummeled the crap out of Yuri. That's fine. I had assumed that Silver Hand was gonna wear off much faster than it did, so that's awesome that it didn't. Yuri clearly needs health, though. There, that should have done quite a lot of damage. I actually might just have him do a physical whack right now. Because they all get critical strikes for the duration of that spell. Now, of course, it's gone now, but at least it was a thing, you know? And now everyone's going to be back to full health. So we've done quite a lot of damage already using that strategy. I do not think I have any other keys. Which is a shame, but, you know, we'll take what we can get. That still should have done a few thousand points of damage in total. I'm going to guess it probably did between 3,000 and 4,000, bringing him down to 8,000 or 9,000 total remaining. So that's at least something. He did just lower everyone's SP, though. So that could potentially be an issue if he continues doing it. Let's make sure I do not have any more keys. I do not. We're going to do that because that Silver Hand is still effective. If it remains as such, that's just going to be awesomely useful. I'm just going to let him do a physical attack for now. As long as Yuri hits 3 times, his attack is tripled for the next strike. Apparently that Bronze Dagger stays active for maybe 5 turns, maybe the entire fight. I don't know. I didn't use them in my previous playthroughs. This is kind of a new strategy I'm playing with for this fight, because this fight is just a massive pain. Huh. Well, he can heal himself out of that one. Silverhand's effect has worn off. Dang. Whoo, still got it though. Alright, well Yuri just did another 1,500 to him. I'm just gonna let Keith, nope, heal himself, but I'm gonna make sure he does it, you know, in a useful way. Where's Bloodsucker? There it is. There we are. His indicator seems to spin a little slower than other people's does as well, which is probably really, really useful. Alice doesn't need to really do anything this turn, but I'm going to have her preemptively start healing people's SP, starting with her own. Because if I can prevent future problems, that's great. Because he does have quite a few moves that lower SP. I do not need Alice going berserk. I especially don't need Yuri going berserk. Keith, I would at least fix, but Bronze Dagger has worn off. Okay. So now this is where this is going to become a little harder. That time it was fine because it went actually slower than normal. It's expecting you to go off of muscle memory and go, what on earth happened? And if you don't do that, well, good for you. I actually have another Bronze Dagger that I'm just gonna keep using, frankly. Give myself a higher advantage here, especially while Yuri has that silver hand going, because I have a second silver hand that I can use. This fight might actually be easier than the one before it because of the way that I'm playing this with the items. You know, Yuri's doing 1,500 per turn, not including the first couple turns where he used keys. And those keys did some beautiful things. Black Abyss! Oh no! Batman is coming! SP minus some. I'm gonna have to have Keith heal Yuri's SP. Alice is gonna just have to heal. Yeah, he's just doing crazy damage. Alright, so I need Pure Root on the Yuri.
No.
So he doesn't go Zerg mode. Because Yuri Zerg mode is bad. Like, this entire fight, with the amount of damage this thing does, now add the status effects if you don't have the crucifixes. And keep in mind, the game hands you 2 crucifixes, which is kind of unprecedented. They're a pain to get in the second one. Yellow Abyss. Alright, Keith might take extra damage from this because Yellow Abyss is most likely considered air element. And he is earth, which means it's going to whack him a little harder. Monkey's Paw has worn off. Do I have another? I don't think I do. That's a shame. I liked that ability. Hit area is cut in half, but attack power doubles. That's just going to put it back to what it normally was. So that shouldn't be a problem at all, and it's still going to do some extra stuff. I guess I don't really need to heal that SP just yet, so let's go ahead and keep damaging as much as we can here. I mean, I get it, Yuri's kind of the star of the show at the moment, but the others still do have quite a lot of use. Keith's next turn is going to be to give Alice some more mana. If I have something that does mana and SP, I'll be using that. And I think I do. I think I have like a Tea of the Healer or something. SP is not nearly as big a thing in the next game. And honestly, it's not even that big of a thing in this one, with the exception of Alice. Alice just has such a low amount compared to everyone else. But her power is, she's a phenomenal healer, and once you hit 48 and get Advent, as you've seen, she's disgustingly strong magic-wise too. Alright, Yuri. Break it in the face. Now his attack's doing double. Metagod's dead. We just won. Do 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 do. All right. Cool biscuits. Once the game is over, while we're watching the credits, I will explain the difference in the endings. And then we're going to move on to Shadow Heart's Covenant. I will probably kill the stream and restart it between those points.
And so, our battle came to an end. The god, awakened by human hands, was returned to sleep once again by human hands. On the morning after, a refreshing breeze blew across Wales, and the horrible events leading up to yesterday seemed like nothing more than a bad dream. Soon, it was time to say farewell to everyone. Keith, our handsome vampire, grew weary of the hustle and bustle of the outside world, and so he returned once again to his peaceful castle in Transylvania. I wonder how many centuries he'll sleep this time. Good night, and sweet dreams, dear friend. Master Zhuzhen, our brave Taoist adept, has gone back to Shanghai to mend the disruptions in the energy fields of China. You taught us so much, Master Zhuzhen. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And please, try not to overexert yourself. Our beloved spy for hire said she planned to go home to Paris, but she joked about how her next assignment was probably already waiting for her. So, there's no telling where she might be right now. Hallie, that cute little street boy we met in London, set sail from Southampton with his mother, Kodelka, to find his long-lost father in America. Finally, they'll be able to live together as a family. I pray you'll all find happiness. As for me, I'm headed for Zurich, where my mother's waiting. With Yuri, of course.
Yeah. So... the difference between the endings. And we got the bad ending. We're going to see here in a minute once the credits are done, and I'm going to let the credits play. This is the bad ending, it is the canon ending. They're on the train. Alice falls asleep on the train as we see in that picture. She does not wake up. She passes away in her sleep. And sends Yuri basically into a depression spiral that we'll see better in the next game. In the good ending, which is not canon, Yuri has defeated the Four Masks and saved her from the Executioner of Death, breaking the Four Mask curse, and she lives. There is a bit in the next game that is actually very, very emotional, because I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but it goes around this concept quite heavily. It's towards the middle to late part of Disc 1, which reminds me I should be getting out the disc for that. So let's go ahead and I'll get that out while the credits are playing. With me, I will never skip the credits on a game, especially when I'm streaming it for you guys, because, you know, these people worked really hard on these games, and to cut out their credit would be a disservice to them. So, we got this. The ending song is actually quite lovely, too. That is the easiest I have ever beaten Metagod. The first time, I didn't realize what the crucifixes were or how to get them. The second time, I read up. The second time I played through the game, I did 100% completion. I did every dungeon, I did every side quest available, I did as much as I could. And I ended up with a crucifix on every single party member. Which isn't a bad plan, but that's the end party that I like there, though, because, as you saw, he does so much damage in that one attack. Should, for whatever reason, Alice not be able to throw a mega heal on everyone, you really need people who could live through 2 attacks, and Alice is the only one who could not live through 2 of his standard magics that he pretty much spams every turn. The others, they would have been really low, but they would have survived. Thank you, Azure Corp. You are awesome. So we're gonna finish this. I'm gonna save my clear data because, like all good games, this has a New Game Plus feature. One of my friends is playing Final Fantasy X right now. I believe he has a stream of it tonight, so, you know, check that out. But, he is playing Final Fantasy X, and it always bugged me that 10 never had a New Game Plus. And yet I believe 10-2 does. And it was something I was hoping they would address on the HD remasters of the games. And they did not. And it makes me sad. The other advantage to having a clear game save in this game is when I use the same memory card, because I'm old school like that, still use memory cards. When I play Shadow Hearts Covenant, I will get a second, what's called a stud card. You get one immediately, and then through the game, and then I will get a second one for having the clear game saved from this. The other advantage is when I say if as though it's a question. When I play through this again, because it's gonna happen pretty much every, like, 3 years, I go through the entire series. But, when I go through it again, I'm going to, I'll have all the fusions, with the exception of the one that I didn't get. I'll have all their, items, I'll have all the money. That's a lot of stuff to have. Especially the fusions. Like, you can't use them until Yuri has enough SP built up to use them. But you don't have to go hunt down gravestones. You don't have to, you know, worry about maxing out elements. It's just things that you can kind of skip. Now, in all fairness, you'll max out most of the elements anyway. It's gonna happen. But, it's just an easier method. The only one that I didn't max out immediately was fire, and I would have done that in the final dungeon anyway, getting through. What I did when I grinded was I actually went back to Doll's house and fought a little bit more there, because they're a heavy fire element there, and then ran all the way back through the final dungeon to level up as I went through. Then spent about half an hour to an hour running in circles, just fighting things. Midway, as your group. Second to... I can't read what you say. But, stretch. So that actually took less time than I planned it taking. I planned it taking a little over an hour.
As the warlock said in the end, even if another age of storms buffets this world, I intend to go on living and fighting. For you who freed me from the darkness. For the one I love.
And that is the canon ending. Prince of the Austro Empire is killed. Summer that same year, Great War I begins. World War I. End. Now granted, World War I still begins. That doesn't change if Alice lives or dies. She cannot single-handedly save the world. Come on, give me my save option. There we go. I'm like, yes, I would love to save my progress up to this point. I have never killed him so easily. Alright, that is the end of Shadow Hearts. The first Shadow Hearts. Don't worry, there's more Shadow Hearts. There's always more Shadow Hearts. So I'm going to kill the stream. I'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes. And we're going to start Covenant. Doesn't that sound spectacular? So there's that. For anyone who missed the stream, I will be posting all of the Shadow Hearts 1 videos on YouTube because I know there was someone specifically looking for it. So that's going to happen probably tonight, if I remember. But I'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes. It's going to be a brand new stream, so, you know, find me again. But I won't do the intro stream starting soon stuff. I'll just start it, okay? See y'all in a few.